Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Lumix Lounge here at WPPI 2015. I'm on stage here with the man himself, the director of WPPI, the man who made all this stuff possible, Jason Groupp. Jason, welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
All right. I know you must be ragged, right? Because all the work that goes into building a show like this and pulling it off and being pulled in a million directions, like the president, right? Walking around. So, but you, more so than anybody here, probably has a feel for the, vibe of the show this year and show to show. What have you seen this year that's different than WPPI 2014 in terms of feel?
I mean, we've made a lot of changes to our conference program. We did some different things in the trade show. So I think, just coming up with new things that gets photographers jazzed and filmmakers and all the people that attend our show.
Yeah.
Coming up with new stuff to get them excited. And I think there's a lot of newer people here this year.
Totally.
And so it's exciting to see those people, and it's also really exciting. So it's my third WPPI as the director.
Yeah.
And it's just exciting to see, all the people from, the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So seeing old faces, new faces, there's really nice buzz here this year.
This is your third WPPI, so you've ridden the wave through a downturn in the economy and then presumably an upturn. How has attendance been, with the 3 touch points so far? Is it on the rise? Is it flat?
Exact numbers?
Not exact, just general.
Attendance is up from the first year. And then it was up last year, and then I think we're going to be slightly up from as well this year.
So
this is which is great. And I do think with the economy changing a little bit, it's good for everybody.
Yeah, we did an episode of This Week in Photo not too long ago where the topic of trade shows came up, and the gist of it was, how do you get the most out of a trade show? When you come to a trade show, some people can just throw yourself into the fray and expect to come away inspired. The panelists on the show were saying you should approach these kind of large trade shows with a plan in mind. Like, I want to meet these people, I want to go to this booth and touch that gear, that kind of thing. What advice would you give people?
I mean, it's a huge trade show.
Yeah.
And then it's it's the largest conference program, like, in the wedding world. Anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have all this education, then you have this trade show, so it's a lot to digest.
Yeah.
So I always do suggest that you have a plan for what you're going to do every year, and for us, it's about creating the best experiences we can in a smaller format, because everything's so big. So for me, it's about making it smaller all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this year we did some photo walks and a bunch of different things, and really giving people excuses to be here. Mm-hmm. There's just so much we can watch online, like the show probably at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it's on YouTube, but at a certain point you need to come and see this new camera and talk to this lab and meet these photographers. And the other thing that came out of that show that we did was, for the people on that panel at least, trade show floor great, the session's great, but the most value that they got of it were the between show, after hours interactions and meeting people. Like Dane Sanders was on the stage before you. We were talking to him, and he drew the analogy that it's like, this is like starlings migrating. Once a year you come to this spot, and then you go do your thing, and then you just keep coming back over and over again.
He calls it the rhythmic pilgrimage.
Did
he use that word?
He did.
Yeah.
He used the
coined
rhythmic
that term.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's exactly what it is. It's every year, your family's back, and I was a speaker for WPPI, so I've been coming to the show about 12 years. Mm-hmm. So as a speaker, as an attendee, as a speaker, and now as director.
Yeah.
So I have some of my best friends are here, and it's really great seeing them.
It's a yearly family reunion.
It is.
Right.
It is.
So what about that? Address that a little bit. Some people that may be watching this are like, okay, and we kind of touched on it, but I want to go into it a little bit. I got to go to Vegas. I got to stay in the casino. I got to get the flight. I got to find a babysitter. All that stuff. Why don't I just go online? I'll go to Fuji's website. I'll go to Panasonic's website. I'll go to whoever's website and do that there and save myself the time of going to the trade show. What would you say to that person that's watching this and nodding their head?
Well, I mean, it's an emotional thing, right? And you can't feel the energy, and you can't. It's a different learning. Sitting on your couch with your laptop in front of you is such a different learning experience than being there, touching the gear that's all in the trade show, going out and shooting in our photo walks, our print competition, and hearing the judges. You could watch, a live judging someplace, but the energy that you feel in the room about how they're feeling these images is something that you can't get sitting at your laptop.
Yeah, it's tactile. Like Dana and I were talking about, it's electrons versus atoms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's just different. It's just different.
Plus, we have all these parties.
The parties, don't remind me. Good thing you can't see the redness in my eyes. Okay, so I know you got to run. I want to wrap this up and get the last question in here. So it's always forward-looking. Presumably, there will be a WPPI 2016. Right?
February 11th through the 18th.
Already said. You're already working on it.
Yes.
That's awesome. How far in advance are these things booked up? Like is it years in advance?
Yes.
Years in advance.
Years
it's all
in
done.
advance.
That's amazing. So what are you looking at as the director of this event? What are you looking at in terms of differences that you may do different next year than you did this year?
And we always try something new, and I'm not afraid for something not to be perfect if we fail at something. So the photo walks were a big thing for us this year. We did 50 of them. So we had 3 days with 10 photo walks a day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, more than that. It was 50 total.
Yeah.
And it was 20 a day the first 2 days, and then 10 today.
There you go.
Just watching everyone walking around the convention center and the pool in Las Vegas Boulevard, going out and shooting.
The
pool party was great. So I think that was one of our wins this year. So I'm thinking of taking that same format again and using the room that we did and maybe do like an evening shootout type thing. And so we're taking it one step further. And for me, it's all about creating smaller experiences in a large convention.
All right, so folks that are watching this are like, okay, I want to go sign up. I'm going to be there next year. Where do they go?
WPPIonline.com.
WPPIonline.com. Jason Groupp, thank you,
sir.
Always
a pleasure.
Always a pleasure talking to you. Congratulations on another successful show, it looks like.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it for another session here in the Lumix Lounge. This is Jason Groupp, the director of WPPI. My name is Frederick Van Johnson. We'll see you in the next video.